Let's continue on my series of personal pens, the pens that have made it into my accumulation of pens. Today I'm going to talk about a pen that I really love. Obviously, otherwise it wouldn't be in my personal collection, but this is one that I think is just really pretty. It's an OMAS Paragon. The OMAS company unfortunately went under. That's a giant shame because they made really nice pens, and this should be classified as the Paragon Grand. The vintage Paragons were a little shorter and a little thinner. The Paragon Grand is a bit longer and a bit bigger. This is the Paragon in the beautiful Arco bronze celluloid, which is much sought after. Collectors love it, and it is a beautiful material. So it's hard to go wrong with that. Okay, let me very quickly discuss this pen. Nice, larger pen. I would call this an oversized. There's also the Celluloid, which is a little smaller and pretty much the size of the original Paragons, but as time progressed, pens got bigger. People want big pens. Interesting clip with a little wheel. Works well if you want to put it in a pocket or something. The Arco is stunning. I have to kind of show you that up close. I'll do that with the cap. Very attractive material that I really enjoy. The OMAS on the cap. Piston-filled pen, holds a large amount of ink, has an 18 karat gold nib. I mean, it's very attractive. The Celluloid has as well as the vintage Paragons, they have a section that matches the barrel and the cap, so it's the same material. In this case, with the new Paragons, that's not always the case. I had a black one, then I got this one, and this one has a vermeil section, so it's silver, which is then plated with gold, which means it does tarnish, but it is nice. And should you wonder, there actually are, I don't know how well you can see that, but there are actually gold hallmarks, or hallmarks I should say, for the precious metal on the section. It can tarnish, so you may have to polish it a bit once in a while, but hey, beautiful pen. Ebonite feed, keeps up really well, and this is one of the nicest fine nibs I have used. And the nice thing is, it's not an isolated occurrence. I had a black Paragon, I sold that, it also had a fine nib, and guess what, that also was a great nib. Why do I like this pen so much? What is it about this one? Well, the material is hard to ignore. It's a really pretty material. Celluloid, warm to the touch, beautiful, piston filler. But there's more. A great fine nib that's not scratchy at all, that's very smooth. An ebonite feed that really keeps up very well with the ink demand of the pen. A piston filler that holds a nice, large amount of ink. It's just a great package. And I think it's a stellar model. It doesn't really post, but were you to post it would be a really big pen. Comfortable enough to use unposted. I think it's great. If I have to nitpick, metal section, it would be great if it was the same material, just because it would be beautiful. But actually I like the metal section because it puts some forward weight into the pen to balance it out well. That makes for a very pleasant writing experience. So, attractive pen. Unfortunately, OMAS has gone under. You can find these online if you search on eBay and such, but they're very pretty. And this is one that I have inked up a lot. It's always fun to have. I use a lot of broad nibs, so it's always fun to have a fine nib if you need to fill out a small form or something. Great pen, and one that I adore. Very warm, very beautiful, so I love it. I love the faceted design of the pen. I love the material, I love everything about it. So, that's one of my personal pens. I hope this was useful, and I'm glad to see. Okay. The OMAS Paragon Grand. Anyway, the ink is Waterman Havana Brown. The old formulation Havana Brown, I don't know if it's really changed, but it is, the bottle still says Havana Brown. And the nib is an 18K fine. Super pleasant pen to use. Smooth nib. They never really sound smooth because the camera microphone picks up the sound of the writing very well and sort of amplifies and makes it sound super scratchy, but it's a really pleasant fine nib that I absolutely love. It's an ebonite feed, keeps up very well with your writing demands. See, now I start to write demands. The quick brown fox demands ink flow, and it just keeps going. I mean, it's pleasant. Good wetness, and yes, some line variation, but by no means an ultra flexy nib. But as you can see, if you're careful, you can definitely add some pizzazz to your handwriting. Reverse writing is possible. It is a bit scratchier, but you can do this sort of extra fine thing. And that's pretty much it. It's just such a wonderful pen to use. I really love this one, and I'm very, very happy to have this in my collection. I hope this was useful, and I'll gladly see you later. Bye bye.
Bye.